Tucked away in the snowy mountains of the Mario Kart World, DK Pass is a chilly course packed with icy roads, twisting paths, and sweeping views all over a frozen lake. First introduced in Mario Kart DS, it's made several comebacks in Mario Kart 7 and Tour, and it's now racing its way into Mario Kart World on the Nintendo Switch too. Each time it seems to come back, there seems to be a few updates and just tweaks along the way. I've always felt like this track is often overlooked, but not by me. I definitely see you out there, King. Hey everyone, I'm Swiftjar, and welcome back to my favorite series on this channel. Of course, being the Changes and Analysis series, which is just where we dive into a Mario Kart track and honestly, just totally overanalyze it. In particular, how it's just evolved over the years. Today, we'll be looking at DK Pass, and I've got a very special guest joining me being Toon. I really just love how this track is looking in Mario Kart World, especially with its new ski resort theme that's honestly really reminiscent of DK Summit. The setup of this video is simple. We're diving into what made this track stand out in the original, checking out all the changes it's seen with every return before Mario Kart World, hearing why Toon is hyped for its comeback, and then breaking down all the updates it's going to be getting with Mario Kart World. If there's a specific section that really grabs your attention and you don't want to stick around for the entire video, just use the timestamps down below and you can just jump straight to it. And before we do get started, just be aware that I am going to be giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 on this channel with a copy of Mario Kart World. The only thing that you need to do to be part of the giveaway is just simply be subscribed. And if you're following me on Twitter or you're in the Swift Cafe Discord, you'll also get an extra entry. But that's enough yapping, let's get into this analysis. DK Pass is the very first track in the Star Cup of Mario Kart DS. And right from the start, you're hit with the mountain's icy terrain, and it only gets more challenging from there. This course is all about navigating sharp turns, slippery roads, and avoiding snowballs and snowmen that will just send you tumbling if you're not careful. The layout kicks off just before a tunnel that you'll eventually go through. After this section is full of sharp, tricky turns that really test your driving skills, especially with the added obstacles of snowmen just blocking some of the potential racing lines. As you move further up the mountain, snowballs actually start rolling down, and if they hit you, you'll of course just be sent flying backwards. To make things even worse, the snowballs actually grow larger as they roll down the slope, which is pretty accurate. Not that I've seen the snow as an Australian. Once you eventually climb up the mountain, you eventually race for a boost pad and then grab a few more item boxes before heading down the final stretch. The last bit is where things actually get a little bit more tighter. The finish line is so close, but it's just crowded with so many snowmen. You actually need a little bit of practice just to drift through this carefully, or you can just rely on luck. And then you've got another 2 laps to do it all again. There's also an isolated item box that actually appears up on a snowy cliff at the peak. And this item's pretty interesting, as it can contain a star, mushroom, triple mushroom, or a red shell, and they can be received in any position. It's actually a nice little cool item box, and really worth actually getting. DK Pass also returned in Mario Kart 7, where it actually featured as the second course of the Leaf Cup. This time, the course actually received several updates, while still maintaining the classic feel that made it so memorable. Starting off at the starting line, you will notice that the banner has just barely changed. It still has the same Mario Kart sign, but it is now held up by a wooden frame that is just covered in snow at the very top. One of the first noticeable changes is actually the off-road sections. The trees were all removed here, and in their place, wooden ramps were just added. These ramps just allow players to perform tricks, and of course give them a speed boost as they just navigate this off-road area. Another change comes at the very large jump at the end. Just where the dash panel was replaced with a glide ramp, you now actually get to glide down this section, but you do have to be careful though, because if you do land outside the barriers, you'll be marked as out of bounds and have to be saved by Lakitu. The secret item box on the hill has also been slightly adjusted. While it does still hold a mushroom, triple mushroom, or a star, it now more often just yields a mushroom instead of a red shell. Probably the biggest change of all from this course though, is just the weather getting an upgrade. The race starts off actually foggy for the first 2 laps, and then it clears up on the final lap. It's pretty similar to DK Summit from Mario Kart Wii in this regard. A couple of the snowmen around the course are also placed slightly differently as well. It's also a pretty small detail, but I love how all the arrow signs and the edges of the mountains now are actually covered in snow in this version. There's even icicles going into the very first tunnel at the first turn. There's also a few less obvious changes as well, but I thought I'd just point them out too. Just like the advertising signs all being updated, the mesh and the posts around the course just having a slightly different color scheme. There's now a few trees that actually have no leaves, and there's actually now coins on this track too. All in all though, it's still pretty much the exact same track, just with a nice little facelift. Even the backdrop looks pretty much identical. DK Pass then returns once again in Mario Kart Tour, first appearing in the 2019 Winter Tour. And the track once again saw a few changes this time around. Let's start off again with the starting sign. It's now a wooden archway style structure, but it still features the same checkered blue background with a bold modern Mario Kart logo, and it's once again in orange and yellow block letters, just like the two renditions before it. The wood in this logo also kind of has a cabin aesthetic, really just matching the wintry alpine environment. It looks pretty nice. All the advertising throughout the course has once again been updated to tour style, and I actually feel like the road is much more visible this time too. The lines really stand out. The tunnel at the start has also been redesigned into a rounder shape, and it now includes lights inside. The arrows around the course have also been updated to match Tour's modern signage. The snowmen have also been slightly repositioned again, but once again nothing too major. Like in Mario Kart 7, the trees in the off-road sections have also been removed. The mesh fencing and the net posts have also had a slight color change, and all the trees are now Tour's snowy tree models, so no more leafless trees in this version. Towards the end of the course, the small village has also been revamped to be a lot more visible. The buildings are a lot more larger now and much more prominent. And there's even an extra one as well that's been added. The secret item box here in this course now only gives regular items, so I guess that's slightly disappointing, but it does match Tour style. There was also several different variants of this course in Tour as well, just being a reverse variant, a trick variant, and a reverse trick variant too. So you get to experience this course in different ways, and that's always really fun from Mario Kart Tour. I should also mention that this course was a lot less dangerous this time around in Tour, as that game doesn't allow you to actually fall off the edges, so you're not going to be getting in too much trouble in that regard. Alright, so as mentioned, DK Pass will be making its grand return in Mario Kart World, and it'll be appearing as the first track in the Star Cup. Before I do dive into all the core changes, I actually want to pass the microphone over to my good pal Toon, who will just let you know why they're keen for this track making a comeback.
Thanks, Swiftjar, and ahoy everyone! Happy to be here to talk about Mario Kart. DK Pass is a fascinating course to me, because every time it appears, I think it's better than the previous time. And its appearance here in Mario Kart World feels like the first time the course is truly themed to Donkey Kong. I love all the signs of DK going skiing and banana patterns everywhere. This is the first time we've had the course in a console Mario Kart, and I think it translated pretty well too. The tight turns around the cliffs still seem pretty sharp, so you'll have to time your drifts well, and the downward slope near the end, getting a massive upgrade to look more built up and artificial for the ski resort, is a clever way to evolve this course into something different. Thematically, it's never been better. While I was initially worried it might be too similar to Wii DK Summit with this reimagining, the core essence of this classic DS course is still here, and it looks like a great time to race through. I hope there's lots of opportunities for cool rail grinding and wall riding.
Thanks so much, Tris. It's always really good fun collaborating with you. Alright, now let's dive into these updates. We've honestly got to start with a starting line banner. I actually think this is my favorite thing from all the Mario Kart games, seeing these change, just on a side note, but this has had a massive overhaul this time around. The new sign features a giant image of modern DK from his Bonanza Switch 2 look, and he's all dressed up just skiing and just ready to go. I love this. So this means the wooden bungalow theme from 7 and Tour is unfortunately gone now, but this new version in my opinion is a massive glow up. The new banner is also now supported by metal poles, with just bananas on either side at its base. This really sets the tone early on. This is now a skiing themed course. On the right hand side of the banner too, you also see a sign that says enjoy skiing, just with a little snowman on it, and on the left side you'll see a sign that says welcome to DK Path. I also like all the lights around the sign too, which is going to be really good during the nighttime setting of this course. The track around the starting line banner has also now been widened, and the snowy sections on the outside are now fully drivable. Everything around here is themed in orange, just with DK Pass branding, especially around the tunnel section now. On the left hand side, the mountain has actually been developed into, and there is now a much more open setup with just a full spectator stand beside the tunnel. It even has a roof just shielding the crowd from any weather conditions. What a great atmosphere. Inside the tunnel, the road is now easy to see with clearly marked yellow lines. It's also lit up like Mario Kart Tour's version 2, and I love seeing the DK Pass name just all over the walls. When turning left after the tunnel now, the mountain that used to block the view is now gone. So you get a much nicer scenic view of the lake and just all the mountains around it. The arrow signs have also been updated here just to be the new modern Mario Kart World yellow ones, and they're clearly pointing you to go left. The road here down this path feels a lot more wider, and the mesh fencing along the left mountain wall goes all the way up. So this is probably there to stop rocks falling. The area is also a lot more foggier now, really indicating back to Mario Kart 7's rendition. But I do probably think this will be based on the weather mechanics, so this will probably change. There's also off-road sections now in the corners, which you can actually drive through to cut through the snow, and then obviously get ahead of the crowd. There's also added street lights on the right-hand side for better visibility during the night variants, and I really love the new DK sign at the very top here. Also, a little smaller detail, but the mountains on the left-hand side actually have lights on them, so this won't be an issue during the night variants. I also love just seeing all the actual open world elements in the distance now. It really looks good. There's also guardrails going up the mountain now, and the arrows are now gone from the previous versions. And once again, there's a bunch of street lights just lining the track. In the distance too, there's actually a visible bridge that you'll probably be able to cross during free roam, and it's marked with superstar advertising, really just indicating that this is the Star Cup. The off-road sections are also now clearly marked with red and white barriers, and the snowballs just continue to roll down like in the past versions, just not as frequent though. In the first section, the first set of item boxes have been moved back a little bit. There's also yellow barriers that actually replace the mesh and red arrows from the original, and the no-leaf trees from Mario Kart 7 are also back. As you approach the second left turn, there is now a wood bungalow design with benches on the left hand side and a dedicated spectator area above it. The original shortcut here with the items seems to now be gone. I also like the ski boards here as well. Further ahead, there's actually a new wooden cabin with a possible shortcut behind it, just with some arrow signs and a nice little ramp. This might just be a free roam area, or maybe, just maybe, you might be able to use a feather item to jump the barrier and then go past here. There's more to spot here as well. After this section, you actually spot some grinding rails and a drivable wall nearby. And if you look carefully at the bungalow itself, you'll notice that this is actually a Yoshi themed food joint inside. And there's even a DK cannon perched on the very top. Going back a little bit though, if you head down the normal route, there's now a wooden ramp into the off-road section with a nice little item box setup. The trees have returned in this area, plus there's some wooden logs you can now grind on for a speed boost. The downhill slope actually feels like a proper ski resort now, and it's just complete with large light towers, and of course Shy Guy's just shredding it up in the background. On a side note, I really love all the DK light posts that are just branded down the bottom. It's pretty cool. The slope down is also now epic. The bridge itself has now been widened and just converted to wood, and it's lined with banana flags, and there doesn't seem to be any more walls in this area. It now seems you can actually use the guardrails to just grind along it, or you can just take the middle route and get a nice quick little speed boost. I also love the DK cannons on the side just blasting all the snow into the air. This entire scene is just gorgeous, especially if you take a look into the background. The old flat kind of backdrop has just been replaced with a much more detailed environment. You still have the wooden bungalows in the distance, but now you have a complete spectator stand in the background with a bunch of ski poles in the background too, and I can't wait to explore this in the free roam. At the bottom as well, you also find some half pipes. They're not quite like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or the Wii version though, as these ones don't give you a speed boost and a trick animation, but they look like they might be grindable. As you race back down though, you actually pass a giant map of DK Pass, and you can of course cut through the snow now for a shortcut. Once again though, I do love all the Shy Guys just absolutely shredding it up now as an obstacle, but this has come at the cost of all the snowmen, which is a little bit sad. But maybe Kamek's item might make them an obstacle as you race? I guess we'll find out. All in all though, this new version of DK Pass really leans heavily into this new skiing theme. Another big layout change that I probably should mention is just the section before the big jump. It's now been straightened out for a much smoother descent, but one of the earlier turns has actually been sharpened, so it kind of keeps things balanced a bit. From a visual and branding perspective, this is a huge upgrade. I love all the spectators everywhere now, and yeah, it just feels super dope. Probably the only other change that I had noticed is just that the snowballs don't appear on the latest sections of the track anymore, only the earlier parts. And right at the very end, I also love seeing the giant DK Pass sign in the distance, and of course some more snow just blasting out around the starting line. The little details here really matter, and DK Pass has absolutely nailed them. That's coming from one brand manager to another. But that's been all the changes that I was able to spot in DK Pass. Let me know what you think of this track down in the comment section below, and of course if you did notice any other changes that I missed. I'll be sure to update the pinned comment with any other facts. A massive shout out goes to every single person in the Swift Cafe Discord as well, just for helping point out some of these smaller details. If you did enjoy this video, it would be super appreciated if you could leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe, as this really helps out the channel a lot. And let me know down in the comment section below what track you want to see next, and also what guests you want to see as well. Until next time though, make sure to take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next video. See ya!